I'm surrounded by 7 different varieties of basil, each with their own flavor profile and ready to be harvested. Well, today we're going to talk about the best ways to preserve basil, and the top way might just surprise you. Hey Provident Gardeners, I'm Kylene and welcome to my greenhouse. Today we are harvesting basil. I'm a huge fan of basil. I cook so much from scratch, and basil is one of those secret ingredients that makes everything taste better. I actually have 7 different varieties, and there's a reason, because they all have a different flavor profile, and I use them in different dishes and different teas. In today's video, I'm going to show you not only how I harvest them, but we're going to talk about the best preservation methods to preserve it, because you can have basil that will only store for 6 months or actually for 25 years. And a lot of it depends on how you process it. So let's talk a little bit about how we harvest it. Now, if you harvest it once it goes to flower, the leaves can become more bitter. So usually we want to do that before we flower. But there is an exception, because some of the flowers are amazing to use in teas. So there's a reason why we might harvest it there, but for the most part, just for my cooking, I'm going to want to harvest it here. And if you notice, the leaves have these nice little bunches. I don't want a lot of my branches. I just want to take my leaves. Now, I don't want to harvest more than 1/3 of the plant unless I'm just harvesting the entire plant, which is okay too. If you look at how many plants I have in here, I just kind of went crazy when I got the new greenhouse, and I don't really need all of these indoors, but I do need a lot of them outdoors. I actually created a video about that where I'll show you how I can create hundreds of plants just from these basil plants. But today we're just harvesting. So we're going to go through and we are going to harvest a lot of the tops. So one of the other things that'll help it do is if it's trying to go to flower, if it's wanting to do that and you cut this top off, it's going to keep it from flowering a little bit longer so that your plant can be better for longer. So I'm going to get harvesting and I'll see you in my kitchen. Okay, let's talk about how to preserve the amazing flavor in basil. First thing, I want to walk through these varieties with you. So this is holy basil. The flavor profile is warm, peppery, clove-like, slightly minty, and earthy. It's best in herbal tea blends, curries, soups, wellness tonics, and infused honey. This is really one of the medicinal basils, and so it's really well known for its medicinal properties. This is large leaf sweet basil. The leaves are really big so that you could actually put them on a sandwich, kind of like what you do lettuce. It's kind of fun. The flavor profile is mild, sweet, classic basil flavor with hints of clove and pepper. It's best in salads, pesto, tomato sauce, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and soups. This is Thai basil. It's actually a beautiful plant when it's flowering. And so you could totally get away with planting this one like in your front yard as a landscaping flower. It's really pretty, but it is also one of my favorite basil flavors. It is bold and spicy with notes of licorice, clove, and anise. It's best in curries, stir fry, noodle dishes, spring rolls, and coconut soups. I use this one all the time. It's so good, and actually it's kind of fun just to munch on. Now this one is fun because it's super different. Purple basil or dark opal. It's slightly spicy and earthy with hints of cloves and mild sweetness. It's best in salads, infused vinegars, pasta, garnished dishes, herb butters, and beverages. And it's really pretty. That's another one that I think would be a really good ornamental plant. This one is lime basil. It's so fun. Lime basil has a fresh lime aroma with sweet herbal basil notes. It's best in tacos, seafood, Thai dishes, salsas, cocktails, and fruit dishes. Can you see how everyone is a little bit different? Now this one is Genovese basil, and it is just what you think of as your traditional basil. So if you go to the market and you buy a basil plant, that's what you're getting. Usually that's what you're getting. It has rich, sweet, aromatic, slightly spicy, and strong traditional Italian basil flavor. It's best in authentic pesto, marinara sauce, bruschetta, lasagna, herb butters, and pasta dishes. Don't you just love the beautiful labels? I will put a link where you can just go print them off for free in the description of the video. So make sure you go check that out. Okay, so let's talk about preserving basil because it's very different actually than some of the other herbs. There is a science behind preserving the flavor in basil. The flavor comes from volatile organic compounds that evaporate very easily. The plant is fragile. Heat, oxygen, and time will destroy the flavor. We want to remove the moisture from the basil and lose as few of those volatile compounds as possible. So technique matters. The simplest and cheapest method for preserving basil would probably be air drying. However, it's not the best, but let's talk about how you would do it. So you can just take basil and tie it together and hang it. Make sure it's loose enough because we want the airflow. Or you could take the leaves and you could just spread them out on a sheet and air dry them. Personally, if I'm going to air dry basil, this is what I do with a lot of my herbs. I have these little laundry bags and I'd put the basil leaves in here, close it up, lay it flat, and I have these herb dryers that I hang on my front porch so that they're shaded. They don't get a lot of sun because light will degrade it, right? A lot of heat, a lot of temperature changes, that will all affect how well basil dries. But in this herb dryer, it will sit like that, and 4 to 12 days later, I can harvest it and put it in a jar. It's best if you do it with an oxygen absorber or vacuum seal it. Both of those will work well. But this doesn't work super well with basil because it turns out dull, dry, and dark. Now, the other thing that you can do is actually put it in a dehydrator. Same concept. You spread the basil leaves out on the tray. And the reason this is better than air drying is because you have air movement, you have a consistent temperature, and it removes the moisture quickly and evenly. And one of the tricks though is you want to make sure that you don't use your regular herb setting on the dehydrator. You want to reduce the temperature to 95 degrees max, and it should be done in 4 to 12 hours. But this has less oxidation and it'll be slightly greener than if you air dried it. Now, freezing is also a really good option, but you have to do a few things because remember, basil, if you just stick it in the fridge, it actually will turn black very quickly because it's so sensitive to the temperature. The best way to freeze basil is to blanch it first so it doesn't turn black. So what you're going to do is you're going to boil some water and you are going to put the basil in the water for like 15 seconds, then immediately take it out and plunge it into cold ice water to stop the process that's taking. But what that does is it deactivates the browning enzymes, so your basil is going to stay green longer and it'll preserve the taste longer. Then you take that and drain it, and you want to freeze it flat. And then once it's all frozen, then you can crumble it up and package it as you would like to. But that is definitely, it's a little bit of work, but the work will be worth it if freezing basil is what you'd like to do. Now let's talk about another way to freeze basil, and that is just in these little ice cube trays. So what I did with this basil, I didn't blanch it, but I put it in a blender. You could use a food processor or a blender, and then just enough olive oil so that it'll combine, right? So that it'll process. And I pulsed it, or you could put it on low, and then I still wanted little chunks in here. So I just blended it, and then I scooped it into these little ice cube trays and put it in my freezer. Now I can pop these out and I can put them in another container and store them in there. This will store between 6 and 12 months. It's kind of fun to use those in your cooking because you can just, put it in your pot of soup or whatever you're doing because it's already got that olive oil in it. So that can be handy. I personally don't do this a lot because my freezer space is very limited and I love things that are shelf stable. So let's talk. My favorite way is to freeze dry. Freeze drying is also the most expensive way because a freeze dryer costs a lot of money. So don't think that if you don't have a freeze dryer, you can't preserve basil, because you have 3 different ways that you can do it. But freeze drying will definitely give you the best results. And let me show you why. So this is probably the Genovese basil. It doesn't say right, but that's probably the kind of basil that is typical. Do you see how dark this is compared to the freeze-dried? The freeze-dried is so much greener. The flavor is so much more like fresh basil than dried basil. It makes a huge difference. And if you look at this is some I did in August of last year. Compare the colors. When you freeze dry it, it doesn't turn brown in storage. It stays good for a really, really long time. So it's worth it. And it's actually super easy to freeze dry basil. So I always wash mine first. I know some people don't, but I prefer to have it washed. And then I will pick off the leaves. I don't get persnickety about the little stems, but if there's anything that's hard or woody, I don't put those on the freeze dryer trays. And then I just stick it in the freeze dryer, and these were done 24 hours later. And then I take them in to package them. I use an oxygen absorber, and then we vacuum seal it. And you don't really have to do both, but for me, it just makes it so that I know this lid seals, and I know that it's preserved for a really, really long time. The shelf life on freeze-dried basil is like up to 25 years. Now, I don't believe that it's going to have the same flavor 25 years from now that it had the day I put it in the bottle. So I don't plan to store it for 25 years. But if it sits on my shelf for 3 or 4 before I use it, I don't worry about it because the flavor is going to be amazing. One of the things that basil is really susceptible to in storage is light. I want them in a place that's dark. We also want them cool. The cooler the temperature, the longer the quality shelf life. So think about that, cool, dry, and dark. And then your basil should last for a really long time. And as a prepper and as a mom, I could just go pick fresh basil, but that's only for like 2, maybe 3 months out of the year. This way, I have it year round, and it's easier for me to harvest it in batches and preserve it than it is to constantly be going out and getting some. Not that I don't do that, because I do. Now you know how I store my basil. One thing I probably should mention is that Mylar bags would be good. They would store it fantastically. But for me, this is incredibly convenient. I have this little pull-out spice thing where I keep all my little spices, because it's dark in here, right? It's dark when it's closed, and I like to just be able to reuse the bottle, but Mylar bags would be a really good option. And I will leave a link to the ones that I like in the description of the video in case you want to do that. So think about this, growing your own basil. You can do this. It's an easy plant to grow. I started these from seed. I'll be releasing a video coming up here in a few weeks where I'm propagating for more plants for my outside just by using cuttings. Because I grow my own basil and because I grow so many fun varieties, like if I use, say, if I put basil in a rice dish, it will have all these different flavor profiles depending on what I want that day. So that same rice dish will taste different depending on which of these flavor profiles I use. And that is a lot of fun because I can't get that at the grocery store and I can't get that at a restaurant. My choices are so limited, but when I grow my own food, the basil world is open to me. Now, I would love to know, what is your favorite recipe that basil turns bland into spectacular? Comment below, share your recipe with us, because you know what? We are all learning, and I would love some new basil recipes because I have a lot of basil I need to use. And as always, don't be afraid to get a little bit of dirt under your fingernails and turn that dirt into a delicious dinner. And thanks for joining me in my kitchen.